Good evening. Welcome to my daily Facebook Live. My name is Barry Selby. It's a late one today and basically technical challenges, so I didn't get done till now. So if you're watching the replay, which might happen in the morning, this was a late night broadcast versus my usual afternoon one. For those who don't know me, if you're watching this for the first time, my name is Barry Selby. You probably guessed that because of my profile. I am a passionate champion of the divine feminine. And I'm also a best-selling author, speaker, and relationship attraction expert, helping strong, successful women find balance in love, life, and business. And this is one of a series. This is my ongoing series of daily Facebook Live messages from the masculine to inspire the feminine heart. This is number 262. Done a bunch of these. And this is actually part 2. I started yesterday. I had this title that came through after I was talking to somebody at the Vagina Monologues event on Saturday. And so I did a broadcast yesterday called The Abdication of Men. And I didn't call it part 1 because I knew there was more coming. And this is what seems to have shown up for part 2. If you want to find out more about what I said in the previous broadcast, it was kind of jumbled because I was just feeling my way into the topic. But there's a lot about us men, not stepping the right way. So this one is a call to action, in a way. So I've given it 3 subheadings, basically, which is speak up, own up, stand up. And I hopefully will have some explanation for each of those, because I didn't have a plan what I'm going to say, just the title. And if you watch my broadcasts before, you know that's kind of the way I do this. I wing them. They're not scripted or planned or bullet pointed. I just simply have an idea of what I want to talk about, and I start where I start and end up somewhere totally different quite often. So hopefully this will be inspirational, educational, and hopefully evocative, so you'll have some thoughts to walk away with. And if you feel like sharing this with other people whilst I'm live or in the replay, please do so. If you have any questions, comments, or challenges to what I'm saying, please put those in below. And if I'm live at the time and you do so, I can respond. And if not, I'll do it in the post-review when I look at the comments afterwards. If that makes any sense. So, the abdication of men. Let me put my own spin on what I feel like that means. And particularly about the 3 pieces I'm going to speak about. From my experience of witnessing what's been happening, and frankly, I was talking to another man about this who really hit the nail on the head when we were talking, that it seems like in a lot of ways we've abdicated our role as men in the world. And partly because we've gotten comfortable, because we had the role of being in charge, which was actually a false presentation, but we've had this, I'm going to say this, we've had this assumption that we are the only ones who know what to do. Big mistake, and a lie. So I talked about that yesterday, so I want to speak now to part 2. So again, if you didn't watch yesterday's broadcast, please go back and watch number 261, which was yesterday's broadcast. It'll be further down on my newsfeed. Over on YouTube, it'll be one of the ones on my playlist, because I have them there as well when I finish. So what do I mean by speak up, own up, stand up? Let me take these one at a time, shall I? Speak up. This has come up for me a few times, and I've not done it, so this is why I'm feeling a bit like owning up in a way. Part of what's been happening, hey, Nate, nice to see you in here. I guess those who don't know who Nate is, Nate and I are buddies on, I miss you too, friends on Periscope, but I haven't done Periscope for quite a long time. I haven't been part of the group, it seems, or done much there, because I'm very busy here. This is number, say, 262, an ongoing series of Facebook Lives. I kind of made this my home, so that's why I'm doing these. 1, because my audience is here, and 2, because I can save these and put them onto YouTube. So here we go. So, speak up, own up, stand up, as these are what I suggest as 3 different ways that men can step out of the default comfort zone, which is where we abdicated into. Because the role we're leading in the world is not the role I recommend we should be in. We men have been missing the boat, I believe, quite a long time in mass. Now, individually and in small groups, we're awake, or woke as some people call it. But I'm speaking to a different part of that. The speak up piece I mentioned just now, it for me was one in a situation where I was becoming aware where a group of men that I hung out with or spent time with, yes, exactly. Well, it's actually speak up, own up, and stand up. So, but I'll get to those all 3, and maybe I'll throw step up in there as well. Thank you, Nate, for that insight. So let me go back to what I'm trying to say in my my point about speak up. I found myself around other groups of men, even at my spiritual centers, other places too. And when I see, what I've noticed is that when a pretty girl goes by, in the traditional vernacular, pretty beautiful woman as it were, there would be certain comments passed around amongst the men that were less than complimentary. And even around my spiritual community, that would happen as well. And I did it once and it felt really weird, but I need to do it more often because I'm feeling like what needs to happen is we need to speak up if we find ourselves around other men who don't respect women. Now, there's a lot more to this than just the women part, but I want to speak to this primarily in the masculine, feminine, the male-female context because this is where a lot of healing can happen, perhaps, and certainly a lot of awakening can happen. So bear with me. So the fact that we as individual men amongst other men can be willing to say to the rest of the men in that circle, I don't feel it's very appreciative or respectful, or at most walk away, so that we don't add to the limiting conversation. As I said, one instance in particular, I remember I was actually around a group of men at my spiritual center, and their derogatory comments about the woman who was walking away, it pissed me off, to be blunt. And so I turned to them and didn't do it very articulately, so I didn't speak up very clearly. But say, dudes, seriously, give a little respect, because that's missing. And I was contributing to that a few years back. I would say the same thing, and sometimes I do it internally. So part of the speaking up is to own up to myself and to stop that line of insult. Appreciative is one thing, but derogatory, insulting is not. That's simply the way it is, black and white. So let's speak up. And I'm going to go back and probably hit these more in the future, more points coming up. So speak up, own up. And that for me was just right there, was one of the own ups. For me is to own up to where I've been less than willing to be respectful. Own up to also taking up my role in the world. In fact, I'm doing that more and more, to be honest. Those of you who watch my broadcast, again, this is number 262 in an ongoing series of daily Facebook Lives. That's plenty of talks where I'm owning up to my own truth, to my own intention, to my own message, which many other men hopefully will get to hear and respond to and maybe jump in as well. It's not saying your message is going to be like mine. In fact, I doubt it will be. But the fact you speak your own truth that is honest, that's heart-based, that is not egocentric, to add to the positivity in the world, to add to the change in the world, and be a change maker as well. Thank you, Mary, for the feedback, by the way. I appreciate that. The third one, which is stand up, is another part of this, which in a way is kind of the men stepping up into the Me Too conversation. Not to say it fills it, but it's more like the Time's Up conversation, because now there's different hashtags bugging around, but Time's Up is the big piece, which is about to no longer accept that behavior that's been okay in the past, that was insulting to women. I believe it's time for more men to stand up to that, to stand up with that, rather. And to stand up, particularly when it's uncomfortable because you may be unpopular amongst the men you hang out with, to say, I'm not playing that game anymore. And I've had that one come up for me a lot recently, actually for a while now, where when that sort of conversation starts that is limiting, I've chosen to step out, to say, look, I'm not playing with this. And I actually would say to them, I appreciate where you are, but I'm not willing to play. And to bow out of that conversation. So standing up on one part is to leave those limiting conversations that are not respectful for women. It also means, and this is a big one too, that if you see something that is detrimental to a woman, a man either treating her badly or acting behind, saying them to her insultingly, are you willing to stand up and stop it? Or willing to stand up and do something about it that may not be directly involved in it, maybe reporting it, maybe helping the woman away so she can get some help, something like that. So standing up is more than one thing. But especially now in this uncertain space that we're in, with the post-Me Too conversation that's begun, for all of us men who weren't contributing to the Me Too conversation in the sense that we weren't the ones causing the assault, upset, injury, hurt, and everything else, we are not meant to be sitting idly by. For us men, it behooves us, it's required of us, it's our calling to step up and represent, to step up. Thank you, Nate, for that. That works now. It fits in. To step up and to stand up, put them together for what's right. To step up and speak the truth when we see bad behavior happening. Even if you happen to hear men speaking derogatory about a woman walking by on the other side of the street that she can't hear, are you willing to stand up and say, gentlemen, That's not respectful. I invite you to step up. Now, it ain't easy because some men are so trapped in their old way of being, they might think you're insulting them and may want to take action against you. So I'm not saying you should do this to put your own safety and health at risk. However, there are plenty of instances I'm aware of where I can be and have said something in a polite way, in a respectful way, but also in a firm way, especially it's happened to some younger kids, where I stopped them in their tracks. Not saying I'm a hero at that, but I felt the calling, the need to say something constructive and directional to maybe educate them. Because as I said at the beginning, we men who've abdicated our role have perpetrated a place of comfort that was easy for a lot of men to default into. And so a lot of men out there haven't been awakened, whichever one you want to use, to a different way of acting towards women, towards other men, towards ourselves. And again, I spoke yesterday at length more about this, about the brotherhood that's missing, about the things we can do as men to become more in collaboration and harmony with our other brothers, and stop trying to kill each other, either emotionally, physically, mentally, or any other framework. Part of what I think has to happen for us going forward as a culture, as a world, as a human race, is, to borrow from Black Panther, a reminder that we're all one tribe. Sorry, my mind went to the movie going, okay, we're going to start doing quotes and things from that with Wakanda Forever. Okay, stop it, I'm not doing that. If you haven't seen the movie, go see the movie, I recommend it. But it's that reminder that we are one human race. And the mistake we've had in the past is to think that we're different from each other because we look different. Now, this is a much more global story than just the masculine and feminine conversation with men and women. But as humans, as human beings, it's good to remember that everyone else is a human being too. Whatever framework, alignment, way of being they are, even the ones we have challenges with. So stepping into a place of appreciation and respect for those in their own path is part of the journey. In the microcosm, or at least in the intergender conversation that I'm part of, talking about a lot in my work, that standing up, that truly willing to be a voice of reason, a voice of truth, a demonstrator of love from a place of respect and appreciation, is where we can stand up. So speak up, own up, stand up, and step up. Thanks to Nate. That's the message I want to put out tonight. So it's a quick one. I know it's a late one for me, but there's more coming up. These are just yesterday's and today's are really for me the seeds of what's coming forward. There's more work coming out from this. I know I'm going to speak about this more and maybe put something together. Let me plant one thing now. I may do another talk about this tomorrow, more detailed, about gentlemanly conduct. The abdication of men partly is because we've forgotten how to be gentlemen. I can go into a lot more detail about that, and I'll do it another time. But just consider, men who are watching, and ladies who are watching too, what being a gentleman is being about. So the men in your life, ladies, and for men who are watching this, the way you can be in the world around other women, around other men. Some of that I would say, I mean, it's funny. One of my favorite films for fun of entertainment is The Kingsman, because a lot of that gentlemanly stuff is in there. But even though it's not the most accurate portrayal of gentlemen overall, because it's a spy action movie, there's some nuances in there that are very, very teachable moments. So for me, being a gentleman is part of the biggest education that men can become aware of, particularly those who have forgotten. So with that, I think I'm going to summarize and just wrap this up. Thank you for watching my broadcast. My name is Barry Selby. These are my daily Facebook Live talks. If you have any questions, thoughts, please put them below. If you want to reach out to me over social media to find out more about how I can help you, or you want to add more to my conversation, please do so. Please share that with those people who think we get value from this. There's more to come. There's more. This is just like there's more power coming behind this. I don't have all the truth of it yet, but this is a good start. If you haven't seen my broadcast before, I do these every day. This is number 262 in an ongoing series of messages for the masculine to inspire the feminine heart, and ideally inspire the masculine heart too, especially these last two broadcasts. You can find these on my business page on Facebook, which is barryselby.author. You can also find them on my YouTube channel, which is Barry Selby. The playlist is my messages from the masculine. And you find out all about what I'm about and what I do on my website, which is barryselby.com. And these live on my video page, which is the video excuse me, the video blog. That's also something you can find out about my coaching, my work. You can reach out to me over that communication links on my website. And that should be about it. A quick reminder, as always, please take care of yourself. Respect yourself, love yourself, appreciate yourself. You deserve the best, and it's time you own that. Thank you for watching. I'll see you again tomorrow with some other topic, maybe on the same theme, we'll see. And for that, I wish you well, take care of yourselves, and I'll see you again tomorrow. Bye.